A win is a win, as they like to say. Victory Monday as the Eagles escape in Foxborough, but the injury bug hitting close to home today. We'll take a look at some of the updates and how they could affect the Eagles in just a few days. What is going on, everybody? Welcome into A to Z Philly. Drop a like on this video if you do enjoy the content. Be sure to subscribe if you're new. Ring the bell. Don't miss any of the coverage. We're live every halftime, post-game during the Eagle games, and we're dropping tons of videos like this. So welcome if you are new. The Eagles get a Week 1 win. They are now 1-0. I get it. We ranted last night. We got it all out. But at the end of the day, a Week 1 win is a Week 1 win. A lot of upsets going on around the league. The Eagles push through, and now they have a matchup coming up in just a few days. And right now, some things don't look too optimistic. So we will dive into it all. And I want to talk about my prediction from before the game about one Eagles rookie and how he is all over airwaves today for having a massive performance. But I have a question for the people out there listening in. On a scale from 1 to 10, based on the Eagles' performance yesterday, how concerned or how worried are you overall? 1 being I'm not concerned whatsoever, or 10 being I'm the utmost concerned about this team moving forward. Give me your rating down below in the comments. And before we jump into the news, a quick shout out to our sponsor of today's video. Shout out to BetMGM. I was using them yesterday. A bunch of great odds, great boosts. Go check them out. Enjoy your favorite sports like none other, man. Sign up, download the app, use bonus code ATOZPA, and receive up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if you do not win your first bet. When you register with BetMGM, you'll get instant access to parlay selection features, live betting options, player props, and daily boosted odds specials. Like I said, right now, a bunch of specials going on even for the Monday night game. So go check them out with BetMGM. Every play and every game matter more than ever. Find out why they are the king of sportsbooks. Sign up today with bonus code ATOZPA and get up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if you don't win your first bet. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. All right, let's jump into it. So we will start off with just a few injury updates. And Fletcher Cox received an MRI this morning. We're going to start off with him because this is good news, right? It says Fletcher Cox, per John Clark, did not suffer a major injury after getting an MRI. He came up big. I think it was in the fourth quarter. He came in, made 2 huge plays back to back. Really helped the Eagles, seal one of those possessions. He made a huge contribution yesterday. He ended up going down, I think, on the next play. Thankfully, Fletch is okay, and it looks like he'll be good to go for Thursday. However, moving forward, we have a couple bad pieces of news. And look, the injury bug is already starting to hit. Last year, let's be honest, the Eagles stayed relatively healthy, and that was probably very rare, right? For, I'd say, the entirety of the season, they really did not have too many defining injuries, that really deafened their team, that really kept them down. And right now, one of the thinnest positions, maybe the one that you can't afford the most right now in terms of linebacker, has already taken a hit. This coming from Ian Rappaport today, says Nakobe Dean expected to miss multiple weeks with a foot injury, but will not require surgery. So it's a good sign that it's not requiring surgery because, then he would probably be out, 6 to 8 weeks maybe. But, a lot of people had concerns not only about the Eagles linebacker core, but about Nakobe Dean and his size, right? He's a bit undersized as a linebacker and playing the middle. He's going to take some big hits, and Nakobe Dean already goes down in Week 1. Not a good sign for the Eagles. Their linebacker core did not really play that well yesterday. Now they do have Nick Morrow, who they signed back to the practice squad. Maybe he'll get elevated. But as soon as this news came out, I tweeted that Howie Roseman should be expected to be on the phones. And little do I know, right after he goes out and he signs a linebacker. Rashaan Evans is the name of the Eagles' new linebacker, and he was signed to the Eagles practice squad today after this news came out. He is 6'2", 232 pounds, 27 years old. He was a first-round pick back in 2018, and he was on the practice squad for the Titans formerly. And he has played 3,800 snaps with 67 starts in his career. He was decent back in the day years ago, but he was with Atlanta last year. He played 565 snaps, and all this information coming from Elliott Shore Park. Shout out to him for putting this on Twitter. And he had 159 tackles with 6 tackles for loss and 2 sacks last year with Atlanta. So these numbers don't look too bad. However, I will say an ad here that they can be deceiving. Atlanta wasn't really too good of a defense last year. And there's a reason that this guy, essentially being in his prime at age 27, is a free agent to this point, right? Past camp, into the season, right? It's just like Nick Morrow, or it's just like, say, Miles Jack, whoever else you want to compare to. There's a reason this guy was a free agent, but thankfully for the Eagles, he was on a practice squad. Thankfully for the Eagles, they go out and they search a little bit and how he's able to pick up this guy. Maybe he ends up being a gem, right? Maybe being in a better style that could fit his game, being in a better defense, being with better players around him. Maybe that could help him out. But, the Eagles are going to be scrapping right now. And I don't even think this could be the last move. I think going forward, based on what the Eagles see on their defense in the middle of the field, especially based off what they saw yesterday, that might be a cause for concern. And then we get another piece of news right after that James Bradberry is injured and he got hit. I think it was like one of the last plays of the game, and he is in concussion protocol. And Nick Sirianni says it'll probably be unlikely that he returns on Thursday. So really not looking good for the Eagles in terms of the injury bug. We knew that they probably wouldn't stay as healthy as they did last year, but you do not want to start adding these up early in the year. I mean, you could also argue that get them out of the way, right? Week 1, week 2, but you don't want this to become a common theme. So hopefully these guys can stay healthy. But one guy that did stay healthy, and one guy that put the entire world on notice yesterday, yes, the entire NFL world, was Jalen Carter. And if you remember my pregame video, I actually made a prediction that for some reason there was an urge that he was going to be the guy to step up and stand out. And boy, was he. Jalen Carter is an absolute mammoth. And he sent a message to the NFL yesterday. He said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here. I'm here. He looked like he's been doing it for 8 years. We saw what it looked like for a couple snaps, very small sample size in the preseason. Jalen Carter was absolutely unstoppable. There's plays going around that I can't even show, where he's just tossing guys out of the way. He's almost lifting them up one hand. He is unbelievable. I know the Eagles were going up against an offensive line that was banged up. I know it wasn't as good of a team, but Jalen Carter with the talent around him, right? He's going to have mismatches all day, every day, and he was insane, right? Here are the stats from yesterday. He had 34 pass rushing snaps. He had 8 pressures, 7 hurries, 1 sack. By the way, he got his first NFL sack near the end of the game. Eagles could not get to Mac Jones. Jalen Carter finally broke through, and he had a 25% pass rush win rate, which is the 5th highest in the NFL. It's the most pressures by any rookie D tackle in a game over the last 5 years. It says Carter already looks like the defensive rookie of the year. And to add on to that, he was the 5th highest graded among all defensive players in the NFL in week 1 with a 92.1 rating. And again, he had the most total pressures in the entire NFL with 8. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the moment. He's here. He is here. We all know that he probably could have gone number 1 overall. We know what happened off the field, but ladies and gentlemen, the Eagles got an absolute steal at number 9. Jalen Carter's here, and it's funny, going through the preseason, I kept upping my sack prediction. I said at 4, and then I said 6, and then I said 7. Yesterday, I said 7 to 9. Who knows what the ceiling is for Jalen Carter this year? I mean, he was playing a lot of snaps, and if he's in there for a lot, of usage this season, which I believe he will with some of these other guys getting older, I don't think anybody's going to be able to stop this guy. Every sample size we've seen, he just looks absolutely superior to the opposition. So I am so excited to watch Jalen Carter continue to evolve. Who knows what this guy could be in 3 years? Honestly, it's scary to think about. And another guy who stepped up, who had a big role yesterday, was Blankenship. He was among the top 5 highest graded safeties in week 1 with an 82.6 rating. He did give up a touchdown, one right over the head. It was a little bit of a loop throw. It was just honestly a good play, and he kind of was out of position. And I know he just came back in from an injury. He was out a couple plays. Doesn't excuse it, but overall, I would say Blankenship held down the fort. And overall, I thought the Eagles' defense was good in the first half. They kind of let up off the gas in the second half, but they made enough plays to win, which was most important. And lastly, we look forward to Thursday because this is a quick turnaround. My final thoughts from this game, it was a very ugly week 1 win. There's a lot to be unhappy about, but thankfully they learned this in week 1, right? They got a little bit of a reality check, and they still can look forward now and say, okay, at least we got a win and we didn't spoil a game, given that, we're going to play a lot tougher teams in the future. We still got the W, and now, we have a chance to correct some things. And I know a lot of people are going to be looking at the offense on Thursday, I'm actually going to be looking at Sean Desai because I feel like there's no other quarterback I can pin more and know like the back of my hand than Kirk Cousins. And anytime you pressure this guy, he looks like a deer in headlights. So I'm going to be looking for Sean Desai to send the house a couple times, right? Send some disguise blitzes and put Kirk Cousins on the ground in the first quarter. Just make him uncomfortable. You do that, the Eagles can start off this season 2-0. But I'll warn you, the Vikings spoiled one yesterday. They're 0-1. They're going to be looking to rebound right away, and they're coming in hungry. I'm telling you that right now. Eagles are going to have to come out and play a really good game. The Vikings listed their left tackle as limited in practice, and their center also did not participate. So they could also be banged up on the offensive line. And, man, that just plays right into the Eagles' favor. So, look, you got to send pressure. You got to make them uncomfortable. I'm looking forward to seeing what Sean Desai does. I'm hoping that Brian Johnson can correct his issues yesterday because, a lot of people are on him today. I get it, but I'm not going to give a final ruling and a final grading to Brian Johnson after one game, right? Shane Steichen's had bad games. Nick Sirianni had a lot of bad games as play caller when he begun. John Gannon had a lot of bad games. Things worked out okay. I'm going to give Brian Johnson more time. They will correct it, and I think, they'll get Dallas Goedert involved. They'll get A.J. Brown involved quicker. Even Nick Sirianni after the game, which I really like, said there's no way DeAndre Swift should only have 2 touches. So a lot of things to make corrections on. I think they woke up and said, this is a brand new season. We have to correct this, and we have to go out and dominate like we're 0-0 every single week. Those are all my thoughts, though. Give me yours down below in the comments section. As always, appreciate everybody for tuning in. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And that being said, I will catch you all on the next one. Peace.